So I guess I haven't fully decided yet, but I will say that for my next project, my next project will be, I believe it's going to be making a game. I believe so. I'm 80% sure that it's going to be a game. I haven't fully committed to the idea just yet, but I think that's where I want to, go. And if I do decide to do the game, I'll make the game, and then I will switch to, I'm gonna switch to working on the comic. It's been a long time since I've done the comic, so I might just honestly just redo the whole thing, start over. I'm not gonna change the story. The story's pretty much set up the way I want it to be. It's just gonna be redoing, like, just redrawing it pretty much. See if maybe I can redraw it. I'll probably start it and just see how it looks. Maybe do like the first 3 panels and see how it looks. Because I was doing that back in 2018, and I've gotten better since then in terms of like skill. But I definitely don't want to do the amount of work I get done for the fan arts and all the work that I do normally, like, because I put a lot of time and effort into just drawing that, and if I spend like 9 hours working on one panel, it's gonna, I don't know how I feel about that when I'm doing everything by myself. So I almost feel like it might end up being the same, look the same. I don't know. I'm gonna play around with that idea when I cross that bridge, which I don't know when that's gonna be. That might either be next year, or it might not be for a few years on the road. I don't know. But I think that's where I want to do, is I've been considering it and thinking on it and sitting on it, whatnot. Is that I think I do want to do the game first, do my next game, and then after that work on the comic, and while I'm working on the comic, maybe start working on the next book, because my next book is gonna be my last book. I will say that much. It's not taking off like I had hoped, obviously, and I'm gonna finish it because I don't want to not finish it. But also the story is gonna be ending at this point. So I said this before, but this book that came out was originally supposed to be the last book, and the story ended up being so long that I felt it would be better if I just cut in half and then make a 4th book. It extends that last part of the story out a little bit too, regardless, because otherwise it would have been like a 40 to 50 some odd chapter, like some odd length chapter. So yeah, it would have been weird to have a book that was, like, the first book came out that was like what, 24, 25 chapters. No, it was like 24 chapters or something like that. It was in the 20s, mid 20s, and then like the next book was, I think, like 26 chapters. I think it's 26 chapters, something like that. And so for the next book after that to then be 50 chapters would have been just weird, like twice as long. It just would have been weird. So I said no. I'm gonna cut it in half. If I had tried to make it one book, I probably would have cut some things out. Things would have been kind of rushed. So if I had doing it this way makes it to where I can focus more. Things aren't getting rushed. I'm not rushing through the story. So yeah, that's how I kind of felt about all that, and that's why I made the decision to cut into 2. And I think it was a good decision because it ended up being just as long as the other 2 books, the first 2 books. A little longer. I think like another chapter or 2 longer than the second one. So it's like each book I've made has been progressively getting bigger and bigger. So this next one I've been working on. I can't say for sure because I'm in the beginning process. I have started writing it, but I'm just doing a quick, like, I'm not actually writing it. I'm just getting down some ideas that I have and trying to figure out, like, the exact story structure, like how the story is gonna roll out. And then I'm gonna, like, basically stop from there and just kind of return back to it at some point in the future. That's kind of like my plans for that. I've been writing just so I don't forget, because I feel like, because my plan is to not go return to it till later, so I don't want to forget, like, what I have. I only had like ideas as to how the second half of the story would go. I know what's gonna end, already knew it was going to end. I just didn't know how I was going to get there from the start of the book, the start of the story, and I was only writing. I was only writing halfway, so like all the details. So now I'm writing the second half of the details, and I will be making sure that it's coherent. So even though I've written it before I wrote this third one, I am still going to make sure it's coherent and its story structure-wise is going to fit in properly with the first half of the story. Even though it technically is also its own story by itself. So especially since there will be, I will say that there will be a time skip between, not a huge time skip like the other books. This is just like a couple months, you know, not long, between like the end of the last book and the beginning of this next book. So, but it's gonna end up exactly where I want it to be for sure. And I'm just working on like, okay, where did I leave off in the last book, and how do I get to where I want to end? And that's what I'm working on right now. So the book. Or just any kind of information on the books in general. There's the link right there. If you watch us on YouTube, I'll have a link in the description. Yeah, I'll have to update the command. I don't remember to do that tonight. To show that it's out now and you can buy it and whatever. But yeah, that link will still get you over to the Amazon page. You can buy it. Available in ebook, paperback, and hardcover. So whichever you prefer.